This summer I've set myself the goal of finally running a sub 19 minute 5k. For the last 8 years I've been running marathons and ultra marathons up to 100 miles in distance. I've gradually become a better runner, but I've never managed to go under 19 minutes for the 5k. I'm giving myself 3 months this summer to finally crack this goal, and to even come remotely close to this goal, I'm going to have to give this everything. Here we go. Just before Manchester Marathon in April, I ran a 19:47 parkrun. I'm attempting to run a 5k PB in 3 months, coming from a solid base of endurance, but a serious lack of speed. So far I've set my goals and started to lose some weight. I've returned to training and I've managed to run a 19:55 parkrun. Halfway. Final kilometre. Here we go. Oh, Jesus. And I've continued to push my training back at the track to get myself back into shape. Oh, I don't feel like I've got much left now. Really happy with how this week went. Really hard effort at parkrun and then a really solid track session. I feel like I'm definitely moving in the right direction, but there is a lot of work to do before a sub 19 minute 5k is on the cards. So I thought it'd be good to do a bit of an episode on how I'm getting on with my diet and my weight loss, and kind of what I'm doing in order to kind of reduce my weight whilst consistently training and getting in some good sessions. So since I started, I have been tracking my weight each week, weighing myself every Tuesday morning. Don't know why Tuesday morning, but that's just the day I've been doing it. When I ran Manchester Marathon, I clocked in at just over 74 kilograms, and so I had this target of getting at least below 70 kilograms, but ideally I want to kind of get down to like the 67, 68 kilograms. I've now been going for I think 8 weeks or so of tracking my weight each week since the marathon, and I've just this week managed to go under 70 kilos for the first time. So really happy that I've lost over 4 kilograms in about 2 months. Definitely moving in the right direction. I think in terms of getting to kind of 67, 68, it's unlikely that's going to happen, but I've probably got now a couple of weeks until the big race. I've booked in a race at the end of July, a 5k race in Battersea Park. So that's kind of my target race. I'll throw in some park runs around that time as well, so I've got some more options, so it's not all on one race, but that's kind of what I'm aiming for. So there's a chance I'll get down to like high 68 kilos or 69 kilograms. So yeah, really happy with the progress I've made on the weight loss. In terms of how I've been doing it, I would say that I've got 2 things that I do that prevent me from losing weight when I'm doing high volume training. One is that my general meals at dinner time tend to be probably quite extreme in the calories. So I'll eat healthy meals, but I will make unnecessarily big portion sizes. So one of the things I've been doing is just reducing the amount of calories that I have in my evening meal to still a reasonable amount, but just not doing excessive calories. So for example, I quite often make tomato pasta, and when I look at the quantity of pasta I'm using in one of those, one portion I might do, I don't know, 150 grams to 200 grams of pasta, which is an unnecessary amount of carbs for a single meal. And so what I've been doing in the last 2 months is I've been weighing out about 300 grams of pasta for 4 meals. So significantly reducing the amount of pasta. It's still more than enough food, but it just means that I'm not overeating in my evening meal. Another thing I do a lot of that I'm really bad for is when I'm really low on energy, which does happen when you're training a lot, I will tend to then go and snack on junk food like chocolate and crisps, and I'll snack to the extreme where I'll overcompensate. So I'll go do a 2-hour long run and I'll come back a bit low energy, and then I'll go and eat 4,000 calories of chocolate and crisps, which totally counteracts all of that good training. So I'm really trying to wind back the snacking. I've been limiting my snacking to Saturdays, which then avoids that post-Sunday long run snacking, which I always have a habit of doing. And actually, instead of snacking after my big sessions and my big long runs, I'm snacking going into them. So I'll eat a bit extra on a Saturday, so I'm fueled for my Sunday long run, and I'm not overcompensating at the wrong time. So yeah, that's made a big difference, I think, for me, those two things. So just having sensible calories, and then not over snacking. Still treating myself and still enjoying myself. So last night I had a pizza, but then this morning I went out and did a 2-hour run, and yeah, it's you've got to enjoy yourself sometimes, but I'm still able to enjoy myself but still lose a bit of weight. I've probably been, I'd say, averaging like probably just under half a kilo a week, give or take, which is pretty good. Pretty happy with that, and so yeah, just want to kind of keep maintaining that over the rest of the summer. Now that I'm below 70 kilos, I really do feel like I could comfortably lose another 5 kilos of weight without being like excessively lean. So yeah, there's definitely a lot more opportunity there for some weight loss, and I think that would definitely benefit the running. So I have slightly adjusted what I've been eating. So I've started to bring salads in as a regular part of my diet, and just trying to reduce the amount of carbs and bread that I eat as part of my daily diet. So I know that I'm somebody that probably eats more bread than you necessarily need, so just trying to reduce that. I've also been balancing out my calories throughout the day better, so I've been making sure that I have a really solid, decent breakfast every morning, and then so I'm well fueled going into the day, and then also having a good lunch, having a slightly more sensible meal in the evening, so my calories are much more evenly spread throughout the day. One thing I touched on just then is that the balancing of losing weight and training. I mentioned having a bit of extra food on a Saturday going into a Sunday. I've been trying to do that throughout the week, so where I know that I'm doing a hard session on a Tuesday evening or a Wednesday morning, I've been getting a bit of extra calories on going into those sessions, so that I'm not low energy trying to go around the track and do hard efforts. I just think that that's going to kind of massively help me from a training perspective to try and maximize the performance gains. So yeah, I've been trying to, when I know that I'm not got a hard session for a few days, or I've got a rest day, I will kind of drop the calories a bit going into those kind of rest days, and then ramp it up going into my session days. I found that's kind of worked quite well for me. I'm probably feeling less low energy dips than I typically would in training, and that's possibly down to how I've been adjusting my training and my diet on a day-to-day basis. Another big thing that I've been doing this year, that I'm now 6.5 months into, is at the beginning of this year, for no real reason, more other than just I wanted to see if I could do it, I decided to set myself the challenge of trying to go an entire year without alcohol or chocolate. So 12 months from the 1st of January to the 31st of December with no alcohol or chocolate. And that's been a really interesting challenge for me. It's funny when I tell people, everybody has a totally different view on which one's harder. Some people can't go without alcohol, and other people think the thought of not having chocolate is just awful. I'm definitely swaying more towards the chocolate being the struggle. I've actually quite enjoyed not drinking alcohol for the last 6 months. I find that when you're going out and socialising with work colleagues, it's quite nice to kind of know that you can just sort of enjoy some non-alcoholic beer, and then I can go back and actually sometimes I've been getting a run in after a work social, which I've really enjoyed. Whereas I think about chocolate every day. I miss it every day. We had yesterday we were at the Barnes Summer Fair, and they had a hot chocolate stand, and I would have killed for a hot chocolate yesterday. So yeah, I am really struggling with the lack of chocolate, but yeah, this is by far the longest I've ever gone without chocolate or alcohol. But I'd say on the chocolate angle, this is, yeah, it's probably been like over 30 years since I went 6 months without any chocolate. Yeah, whereas alcohol, yeah, okay, it's probably only 15 years. But yeah, the chocolate is a struggle. I think on the 1st of January, the first thing I'll be doing is eating as much chocolate as I can get my hands on. Whereas alcohol, I could probably take it or leave it. I could probably just carry on not drinking, to be honest, and not really notice much of a change. So yeah, but yeah, fun challenge. It'll be interesting to see how I feel about both of those at the end of the year. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to having some chocolate back in my life. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the diet side of things. Yeah, making good progress. I do want to keep this up, and I suspect that I'm going to try and keep my weight loss up even after the end of this 5K challenge, because I just think that it's going to make such a big difference if I can get my weight down to like the mid 60s. It's going to make such a big difference from a training perspective if I can just drop some of that excess fat. I just think, yeah, ultramarathons or 5Ks or ultramarathons, I just think that I'm going to get a lot out of it, being a bit lighter, a bit leaner. So yeah, on the diet side of things, I've not been doing anything too revolutionary, just trying to get some consistent, sensible eating. And I feel like for me, weight loss has always been a bit of a challenge, and I do find my weight fluctuates a lot from month to month. If I don't keep an eye on my diet, I will have a habit of just slowly, gradually putting on weight. So for me, I have to have a consistent focus on my weight. So yeah, the longer I can keep this attention up, the better I'll be, the more I'll lose. And I suspect that whilst I may be below 70 kilos at the moment, if I didn't pay attention to it for like 3 or 4 months, I could quickly get back to 75 to 80 kilos without really much effort at all. So yeah, for me, it's about tracking, focusing, and keeping my eye on my diet, and yeah, hopefully I can get to where I want to get to. But yeah, really happy with how the progress has been made. I think some of the times that I'm seeing in my sessions and in my efforts is definitely a result of being a bit lighter. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see next time I run a marathon whether this weight loss makes a big difference and whether it can help me get that PB. Cool. Well, cheers for watching. I think yeah, the next couple of weeks are going to be a focus on getting some consistent, solid training, and then start to gear up for some hard efforts to try and have a crack at sub 19. But yeah, nearly there. All right. Well, cheers for watching. Bye.